Oh, that's right. They called them a maroon. They called them maroon colonies, and that definitely sounds racist. But oh, uh, I was telling Bo about Yanga, the uh, the escaped slave uh, from Mexico. Uh, he may have like, or the story goes that he escaped slavery like as soon as he got off the boat in
Dudes rock.
in as soon as he got off the boat in Mexico, in like the like 1500s or something like that, and when he escaped, he and several, I believe, it was several other slaves and natives fought back against the conquistadors, and they just let they gave up. The Spaniards gave up, and they just let Yanga be free. And so it's this settlement is considered like the first like black settlement in the New World, because it was even before Haiti, well before Haiti got independence.
Mm-hmm.
But then Bo was like, "Oh, that's cool," and it's like, "Yeah, but like the fact that he was there is not cool."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes, it's cool, but like what I was saying, that it's what Bo said was cool was that the descendants of Yanga apparently still live in the city, which I believe is just called Yanga now, and they're very proud to be African, which is kind of rare for Mexicans. But he said that was cool, and I was like, but the whole colonial thing, that's not so cool. That whole thing.
Okay. That whole Spanish and English and other countries' imperialism, not great.
No. Yeah, just imperialism in general, not good. And you know who would have told us that back in the day?
Whom?
Grimes, because she had anti-imperialist on her Twitter account until she started dating Elon Musk.
That was a gorgeous fucking pivot. Wow.
Yeah.
I know. Wasn't that good?
That was beautiful. That was fucking Olympic level figure skating shit.
Yeah, I'd like to see Zach try and do that.
Break an ankle.
But yeah, she used to have like anti-imperialist on her Twitter bio, and after she started dating Elon Musk, that weirdly disappeared. But they are no longer together. They are no longer dating.
Is it back?
They have this like. No, it's not.
Oh. So the damage is permanent.
Well, we don't know.
Okay.
Actually, we do know, because she was spotted on Friday, Saturday, October 2nd, in Los Angeles, on her way to a photo shoot, dressed like a Thalmor from Skyrim.
Dressed like some sort of like BDSM steampunk kind of fucking superhero. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
So, just walking to this photo shoot in 100-degree weather.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
And the paparazzi started trying to take photos of her, and she pulled out a copy of the Communist Manifesto.
Oh, cool.
Written by... Yeah, I was going to say, written by friend of the show.
I'll edit that.
Carlos Marx.
I'll edit that in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I could,
just loop
comrade of
that
the
actually
show.
behind the rest of this conversation, if you don't mind.
But, it's bullshit. Like, we all know that this is bullshit.
Sure.
Pretty patently bullshit. Yeah. I mean, I it would be a wonder if those fucking paparazzi weren't paid, for one, to be there.
Well,
they were tipped off, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, as it goes in LA, oftentimes people who are smaller celebrities, usually like YouTubers or like reality stars, will pay paparazzi to show up.
Which
like,
free clout. I get it.
I don't know. Like, does it suck? Because it's not like making a material impact, but in terms of like, these symbols we all have to wade in. If like that your life is being taken pictures of by paparazzi, why wouldn't you just carry around like State and Rev and then be seen reading it, because you have to be you're going to be seen. You might as well just use that as a moment to be like, cool people, read Marx and Lenin.
This is dangerously close to dress discourse.
Well, couple it with donating to your local communist party, you know?
There you go.
Give us Elon's money.
Give us Elon's Musk.
There's a couple of reasons why this sucks. Because on October 2nd in Los Angeles, and I am aware of this, the RevComs and several other leftist groups had kind of not organized together, because getting two leftist groups to organize together, impossible.
What are you talking about?
They all
Crazy?
hate, of course. Yeah, they all hate each other. But the RevComs specifically, I know, were had an abortion rights rally to protest Texas on, the 2nd, again in 100-degree weather. Hope everyone is doing okay.
Yeah.
But a ton of people came out. I'm aware of this, and Grimes didn't seem to mention that at all. Not that I am imploring her to do so or anything like that. But,
I mean, if you're going to be seen, you might as well share things that actually exist instead of just like a book.
Right. Right, but we also know that this was the other reason why this sucks is because she posted this on her Instagram in response to everything. The photos specifically. Let me take a sip of this first. Grimes, quote, "I was really stressed when paparazzi wouldn't stop following me this week, but then I realized it was an opportunity to troll. I swear this headline, OMG, WTF, haha, I'm dead. Full disclosure, I'm still living with E, and I'm not a communist. Although there are some very smart ideas in this book, but personally, I'm more interested in a radical, decentralized UBI that I think could potentially be achieved through crypto and gaming, but I haven't ironed that idea out enough to yet explain it. Regardless, my opinions on politics are difficult to describe because the political systems that inspire me the most have not yet been implemented."
This poor woman has inoperable Reddit brain.
Yeah, the Matrix is glitching. I'm just receiving a word salad.
She has Reddit brain, and it's terminal. She's gonna die.
Yeah, Reddit brain is just sort of an early onset version of Alzheimer's, and it just starts combining.
Specifically by Reddit, of course.
Yeah, it just starts combining internet words and gamer words into this soup of ideological mush that. It's the melting pot, like Theory of America, but for your political ideology. You just dump all of it into a pot and watch it dissolve into nothing. Just gonna add a little little gamer.
How accurate that is.
A little communist manifesto. Also, I love that my ideology is difficult to describe, and it must be because it doesn't exist yet. Not because I don't know anything and misunderstand all of it.
Yeah. Not because I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, the thing is, too, it's because she is an idiot because, communism doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
But here we are, all, communists. It's no. It's not hard to understand if it doesn't exist yet. You're just a moron.
She doesn't have object permanence is the problem.
Yeah, but she's a goldfish brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
When little baby, X leaves the room, Claire shouts, "Where's my baby?"
My baby? Where's my baby?
God, I just she's such a disappointment.
Yeah,
so dumb.
This does suck.
Well, because before dating Elon Musk, I knew she was I knew that she was trash and but I still listened to her music and stuff, and she was just weird. But that's fine because it was non-consequential. But
yeah,
she's
dating... bedroom pop kind of stuff, right? It's fine if they're weird.
Yeah,
even if it's in
and
a
it's
bad
fine
weird
because
kind of way.
because she made she literally had zero impact. Fucking paparazzi wouldn't follow Grimes.
Yeah,
because she just looked like some weird white girl in LA. But now that she's dated the richest man in the world. Now all of a sudden, her stupid opinions that were just like, haha, funny for me, like as a gay, listening to her being like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I love
Now-
dumb pop stars. Yeah.
Yeah, now that has to be like magnified, and I'm like, no, this is dangerous because she's stupid. Like, I've known that she's stupid. She doesn't make any goddamn sense,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now I'm
rules.
just upset.
I don't even know what to say. Like, you date Elon Musk and you come out like thinking like gamers and crypto are the answer to our problems and invaluable.
That's how we build a society. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
here's the thing. 4 years ago, if she said that and was not dating Elon Musk, I would have laughed at that and been like,
That would have been
that's
awesome.
funny.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
kind of laughing
but
at
now
it
it's
now,
like
but
too real.
Yeah, but so many people, like 288,000 people liked that.
Yeah.
Liked that
I didn't even
Instagram
consider
post.
that
That's-
part of it. Shit.
That's like more than like the population of like Montana.
well, I'm sorry, we're just gonna have to do Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, crypto gamerism,
Ugh.
and that's just
I
the future of
guess.
America.
Yep. We
I'm pretty sure that's
appreciate
what Death
power.
Stranding
That's-
was.
But that it's just such a bummer that. But the thing is, it didn't happen before Elon Musk. It happened after Elon Musk. Which means that she's listening to everything that he's saying and taking it in and just synthesizing with everything she's ever thought or read before, and it's just getting soupier and soupier and further from any sort. She's just like a woman Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Charlie, no. It existed before. Like, I knew that. But the thing is, like, again, she was just so inconsequential. But, you know, dating Elon Musk, and now, you know, her song "We Appreciate Power" means something so much different.
Ouch.
I don't know that song. That's unfortunate. We appreciate power. Yeah, no, that's about like needing a hydroelectric dam for your crypto rig.
Yeah.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Good evening, boys and ghouls and non-binary pun. It's the first Psychic Dolphin Garage of October. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Bo, he, him.
Oh my God. I'm Dennis. He, they.
Charlie, she, her.
Wow,
we
that-
are officially now that Pumpkin Times has rolled around. We are entering the vampire castle.
Yep.
That's a reference
And
to
we will
books.
never exit it. We live here now.
No,
The garage is
I
the
read
castle.
books.
ASM Marxist has a really good Twitter handle right now for the season, and it's exiting Takeshi's vampire castle.
Yes, I
Very
saw
good.
that. It's very, very good.
Uh-huh.
I don't get it.
And-
Can you explain it to me?
Oh,
Can you explain the joke?
I wonder if Takeshi's Castle was a physical game show. It was very like
Like Wipeout-esque kind
what-
of.
yeah, Wipeout,
way
Double
funnier.
Dare, but also like if you watch, like you could watch it on YouTube. Watch it in Japanese. You don't need to know Japanese.
Right.
It's perfectly fine. Just you got to get to the end. Don't watch the dub, the English dub, because it's weirdly racist sometimes. Just
Yeah.
watch. it in
It's
Japanese.
very early
just
2000s.
don't listen to so it's not that it's not weirdly racist, it's that if I just don't know Japanese and I just turn the dub off, I can just enjoy it unproblematically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, because it's just people falling down. It's very funny.
Yeah, the dub, should be noted, is not like a faithful dub. It's like a thing some comedians did in like 1999, and they were like, "Oh, isn't this Japanese game show so random?"
Yeah,
and
they
they
did a lot of
like
like
characters and shit.
It's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's a like Kung Pao Enter the Fist thing.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I hate that I
Okay.
get that reference, but yes.
I enjoy the heck out of that movie. I almost watched it yesterday. I want to see if it holds up. I know it won't. But I have it to
nothing,
watch again.
Nothing more Sisyphean than I want to see if it holds up. I know it won't.
Oh well, that was me trying to watch Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, and every other episode, I'm just like, oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like Seinfeld Seinfeld is interesting because it is It's Always Sunny, but
Yeah.
like you're supposed to like the characters.
Yeah.
Like they win. Like the only character that doesn't win is George. But like Seinfeld is always a terrible, awful person.
Yeah.
And that's okay though. Like he actually gets to like, you know, live a nice life. Whereas like It's Always Sunny, they're all awful, horrible people, and no one likes them. They ruin their lives every episode. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I enjoy. It's like, no, maybe if you are a bad person, this isn't like you don't always get to
Let
win.
these bastards get their comeuppance. Yeah.
Yeah, right. They're just a bunch of like a rich, like nice apartment dwelling like dickweeds who just get they just get what they want because they have money in New York City.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Although I will say Elaine, before when I watched it in the 90s, Elaine was my favorite character. She's still my favorite character. Like I do feel bad for her much.
Well,
the time.
that's
Yes.
that's what how I understand it too, right? Is that there's a lot of this where you know, oh yeah, George Costanza is obviously a piece of shit and a just absolutely pitiable little weirdo. God, mood, right? That's how
Yeah.
this works.
But like
Okay.
yeah.
Just want to make sure.
I don't know. I mean, in some ways, I think of George as like sort of like the proto every character on It's Always Sunny. Like,
Yeah.
in my mind, forever is burned the series of episodes where like they can't fire him, or they can't like just like fire him outright. So they have to like make him not come to work or something in order to get rid of him, and they literally
Yeah.
seal off his office so he can't get into his office. And then he like crawls through the vents and like falls to the ceiling and is like, "If you need me, I'll be in my office."
Well, and then like the jerk store joke, you know, the jerk store call, they're running out of you,
Of course.
and then when he gets in the fight with the bubble boy over the moops, you know what?
Oh, of
George
course.
is not
Gets
he's
into a
not
fight with a
redeemable
bubble boy
char-
over the moops. We've all been there.
God, it's so good.
He's
But
not.
I hadn't seen
He's
that
not.
fucking one YouTube video. What is it? Innuendo Studios. It's one of those. The card says moops.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
guide to the alt right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good
Uh-huh.
stuff. Anyway.
George is not pitiable. George is a Twitter poster.
Yeah. Art Vandelay is who he plays on Twitter, but in real life he is George, and
Oh, I
that's
see.
what this
Yeah.
Twitter poster is.
Right.
Oh.
God,
Yes.
and we all pretend to be Art Vandelay on Twitter when we're really just George.
So like us.
Harsh.
Well, go watch Seinfeld after this. Everyone.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
watch an
apparently
episode
it's
of
good.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you know?
Just cringe at the problematic parts.
Yeah.
And watch Takeshi's Castle. I'm gonna put a link to a totally legal rip
To
of
mega
Takeshi's
upload,
Castle
not a virus.exe.
Yep.
Use that to stream Takeshi's Castle, and also stream your credit card information to us.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there you go. Also,
There you go.
I don't know if
All right.
I don't know if y'all want to do movie talk, but I could tell you what movie we watched last night that does hold up.
Please
What's
tell
that?
me.
Okay. Instead of because I offered Kung Pao Enter the Fist as like, let's see how this holds up. Instead, we ended up watching Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Sixth Day. Have you either seen that?
I'm
Not familiar with it,
unfamiliar
yeah.
with
Oh, this one's great. This one is absolutely a movie entirely contrived just to have Arnold Schwarzenegger team up with himself, because the entire point of the movie is that, like there's this shooting at his he runs like a helicopter business, and it's unclear what they do, but they've got these really shitty
They
CGI,
helicopter.
the really shitty CGI futuristic helicopters. That like
that rules.
yeah, like he takes people into the mountains to snowboard, but also he gets a contract to take like a really fancy organ and genome cloning company head there, and there's a shooting and he winds up cloned because everyone on board dies, and then they clone all the people on board.
Okay.
Of the plane or of the
I'm
helicopter,
following.
but because his friend said, "Don't worry, I'll fly in your place. You go home to your birthday party today." He goes home, but they don't know that they switched.
It
So
just
now there's
happened
two.
to be his birthday party.
Yes.
So now there's two Arnolds running around.
Yes, he goes home to his birthday and sees himself already celebrating his birthday, and it's like, what the fuck? And
Wow.
yeah, there's sequences of him like watching himself fuck his wife. There's scenes of no, it's great.
He's just cucking himself.
Oh yeah, he's like watching from the bushes as like the other him is like smoking cigars and like being flirty with his wife because like he can't go home
he
now
loves
because this
cigars.
other guy's there. Yeah, and then they get it on and he goes into the house to like put his daughter to bed because she finds him and he's like, "Oh, I'm your dad."
Like what?
Yeah, right. Oh, and then they fuck and his friend watches and then yeah, and
so everyone's watching him fuck his wife.
yeah, everyone. It's him and his friend who I can't remember who the guy is. Let me look it up. He's
so
classic.
bizarre. I fucking love
He's
this.
classic 2000. It's from the year 2000. It's classic year 2000 dirtbag is his friend, who is
Spade?
Michael Rappaport.
Okay.
Oh, okay. The comedian.
Yeah, that's his friend, who lives in a penthouse with a digital girlfriend that is just a hologram.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a hologram for a
Speaking of fucking
girlfriend.
George Costanza.
Yeah. I just think it's a fantastic vision of the future that I think is more honest than not. Because first, it's not really an action movie in the Schwarzenegger sense. Like a large amount of the Schwarzenegger action is just him walking around with like a cooler or like a stack of papers or something in like the big cloning facility, just like acting like he's supposed to be there.
Wait, is he?
Well, yeah,
So he works for a helicopter company. He's not.
He has his-
like one
he's
of
a-
the cloning scientists.
Yeah,
is he?
he's a small business tyrant who owns his own helicopter.
Okay. He's the
charter.
John Galt of helicopters.
Yeah, he's a he's
Right.
got a charter service, and they introduced at the beginning of the movie this little like handheld like you put your arms in it, remote control to be able to fly a second helicopter. So like while you're in another helicopter. So like
Two helicopters.
yeah, so they're like with one of these. He's just like with one of these I'm gonna be able to fly 4 helicopters at once, which is like
What?
he's automated like he like these 2 people other than like the 3 people who work in like the lobby appear to be the only like 5 people who work here, and instead of teaching anyone to fly a helicopter besides him and his bud who like run the place, they just get like a robotic arm to fly like up to 4 helicopters at once.
That
And-
sucks so hard. I love it.
I know, right? It's like it's a perfect vision of the future because like they've got they're just automating jobs over the heads of workers. The tyrant in this
Yeah.
is a shitty Silicon Valley bro who like is partnered with like this old guy who just likes to do science and is all of it is being directed toward like because cloning is illegal. Cloning of humans is illegal in this future. They tried it
Of
once and
course.
there was this accident and who knows, and I'm spoiling it. You should probably put a spoiler tag at the beginning of this. But like
For fucking what is this movie? Again?
the 6th day 2000.
Yeah. Spoiler for the 6th day.
Yeah.
I know all you 6th day Adventists out there are really tuning in for this.
So yeah, anyway, the culmination of the movie is a sequence in which like one Schwarzenegger is being interrogated by the bad guys while the other one like sneaks in to blow the place up, and they team up at the very end with some people who are not very good body doubles for them, honestly. And
That's awesome.
there's definitely one scene in the middle where they're like building bombs together and they're testing it, and like their like bomb melts a hole through the table when they test it before it like they don't put it in a case, they just like light a pile of powder on fire and it just melts through the table, and they turn to each
Blow it up,
other.
who gives a shit?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
turn to each other and in exactly the same voice just go cool, and like you can just tell
Like
that
they're
entire
fucking 7 years old.
yeah, you can tell it's just like they shot this for the trailer. That's definitely
Yeah,
I haven't seen the
yeah.
trailer, but I'm confident that's in there. Well, it's a great like cyberpunk future where the internet doesn't exist yet, but like the fridge is still like an Internet of Things connection where it's like last thought on it. One of the like the reason the bad guys like at the end know where to kidnap his family is because like they go into his house and they like can't find them and they're so frustrated. One of them opens the fridge and just trashes the inside, and the fridge just like yells out like calendar alert, you have daughter's recital at this time, right now. And they're like, ah.
That rules.
So, like, like, every single car has, like, all of the cars are self-driving. And they have, like, OnStar navigation built into them where you just tell it where you want to go and it drives you there. And then right before you get there, it's like, it's time to engage manual drive. Ready? And you just grab the wheel and you're like, yes. And then it's like, manual drive engaged. So, like, it's
what an uncanny vision of a future where we have self-driving cars.
Right.
It still can't really self-drive.
The entire thing. Also, there's this thing at the beginning where they, like, bring in the Speaker of the House to, like, say, like, hey, I heard your kid has brain cancer. We can't clone a brain because it's too complicated. It's the one organ we can't clone. But we can clone your entire son and give him all the memories up until the second that he dies.
Just
so
fucking Venture Brothers him, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the same son because he'll have every memory, and you can make sure he heals this way. And this guy's like, yeah, but it would be illegal. But I could change those laws potentially one day. And it's like, well, that's the risk if you change the laws. And you think there's going to be some sort of political angle to any of this, but then they just drop it. It doesn't really come up again, other than to just occasionally note that cloning is still illegal. It's so at the very okay. So, like, he's a helicopter pilot with, like, a self-driving helicopter glove or a remote helicopter glove, and, like, the only reason this exists is definitely so the end of the movie can, like, they can escape through the roof of, they can land at
helicopter sequence.
Well, because they land on the roof of the building to go in, and then one of them, like, flies away and then, like, comes back, and they have a big sequence where they have to, like, use the remote thing to, like, because the bad guy's, like, shooting at them from, like, on top of, like, on top of the fucking, like, stairwell block that has, like, the satellites on it, and he's just firing the laser. They have laser guns too, also. And also, everyone in the future, like, okay, malls still exist, and they're all dressed like it's like cyberpunk, but it's also kind of 90s cyberpunk, where it's like, what if, like, it's, like, not wrong about how, like, queers would want to look in the year, like, 2012, but, like,
yeah, it's
also just like, no, they're all too fucking a hot topic for this still. So, but it doesn't have any of the fun, like,
we'll give it another 20 years.
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah, like in another, like, 20 or 30 years, they're gonna get to the extreme, like, you know, leather stretchy dress of, like, hackers, and the cycle will finally be complete, but. Yeah, so that's what we watched. The helicopter thing is just to do a helicopter scene at the end where they're like hanging precariously off of one another on a helicopter. So, like, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, there need to be some diegetic reason for a helicopter to exist in this film.
Yeah,
of course.
It's because, well, I think it's so they can do, like, a really future fancy helicopter to be like, yeah, like, some people, they travel by helicopter instead of self-driving car.
Wow.
But it's just a charter business. He just owns a helicopter charter that, like, frequently just does, like, skiing trips.
Yeah, which is so 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was going to say was a thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of self-driving cars and the dystopian cyberpunk future we live in where they don't work, fucking a Model X going 70 miles an hour rammed some cops' SUVs, and now they're suing Tesla, the Houston Constable. So yeah, a Tesla Model X going 70 miles an hour rammed these cops' SUVs.
Nice.
And now the Houston area constable is suing Tesla.
Nice. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Apparently
like,
the car was supposed to be on autopilot when it hit them. Yeah, 4 Montgomery County constables and a Splendora police officer. I'm sure that sounds like some Borderlands shit. Sure.
Splendora. Yeah, no, that's the
Splendora.
Well, no, that's the artificial sugar company town.
Yeah. It has its own police force. So these 5 guys were searching a car for drugs this late February
Jesus.
when a Tesla going 70 miles an hour struck 4 police SUVs, pushing the cars into the officers, injuring them. Media reports from the night showed that 2 of the SUVs were totaled. Yeah. So in the suit, yeah, right. In the suit, they claim the driver was drunk using the autopilot feature. Michael Minley, 47, who was the guy identified at the time of the accident, but is not listed in the suit. The like party that they're holding accountable here, or trying to at least, the police are they're suing Papacito's Cantina, the Mexican restaurant where the driver was prior to the accident, for over-serving him.
Oh no. That's genuinely an upsetting precedent to set, that like the place you get drunk or buy drugs from is the thing responsible for like doing like a reverse class action lawsuit against like every bar in the outdoor mall in your town because you hopped from one to the next getting one drink at all of them.
Yeah, all those like Midwest bars that are just like, it's a bar and a huge parking lot.
Yeah, just
These
suing
are all Ubers, right? Waiting outside. It's like, no, obviously people are drinking and driving because, you know, it's the fucking Midwest.
Yeah, just suing one random guy who's the owner of a large bicycle that has 15 pedals and a table built into it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I took a look at Papacito's Cantina. It looks like a Denny's but Mexican themed.
Oh, that is so heinous. I love that.
That's heinous, and
and
also,
you
do you know how delighted I would be if I stumbled across that at 3 a.m.?
And you could sip your margarita in a luchador keepsake mug.
Wow, cute.
I kind of want one.
Are they good?
Hell yeah! Please get one.
Yeah, Zach and
It's
Kelton
just like
are
a
in
little
Houston.
luchador
Go
mask,
get
right? That's what
it's just a
I'm
little
imagining
luchador.
here.
Yep, Zach, Kelton, one of you go get this for me.
Yeah,
Hook me
pay
up
for
with
the
a
margarita.
fucking-
Yeah, and if you
Head
go
to Papacitos while you still can.
Yeah, if you go spend money at Papacito's, then that's like that's you using your dollar to vote against the police.
Yeah. I mean, that should justify getting a Tesla too, because they are suing Tesla, correct?
Well, no, only if Tesla. Okay, if Tesla like refuses to back down and says no, screw you. Not only are our cars not dangerous, we've programmed them so that they swerve into cops now. Like at that point, yeah, you have to like buy a Tesla.
Yeah.
So, a detail too, which is really interesting and fucky, and I'm going off the HoustonPublicMedia.org article. So thank you, HPM. You're the real MVPs, HPM. The police were seriously injured, according to the civil complaint. The men suffered permanent disability as a result. Next paragraph, a spokesman for the constables on the night of the accident told a different story. The Montgomery County Courier reported that all police had avoided serious injury at the time. According to the report, the men suffered soft tissue injury and soreness, but were cleared by hospital staff.
They got little boo-boos?
They got little boo-boos, you might say. The man whose car they were searching that night, however, had been put in the hospital in critical condition.
No,
That's
but
the first
you don't.
mention
Oh
of
my
this
God.
gentleman in the article.
Yeah. Also, you
But
don't.
I mean, other than his name.
What you don't understand though is like.
No, that was the fucking the driver of the car.
Yeah.
The guy
okay.
getting searched has not been mentioned up until now. Apparently in critical condition that night, and no follow-up on how he's doing.
So the cops went to Weenie Hut General.
Yeah, the cops went to Weenie Hut General.
Those poor cops though, like they not only were they searching for drugs, but they found a bag of fentanyl which exploded in their faces when the car was hit. And you know that's like, it's not just soft tissue damage, it's like their brains are permanently melted now.
They turned into
little there
applesauce and
was.
leaked out their assholes.
They have Papacito syndrome.
They believe they are luchador mugs filled with margarita.
They have to be constantly drinking a margarita now, or they become anxious.
I mean, same.
We have a like a lifeline of tequila next to Bo.
It's in a fucking IV bag next to my desk. Yeah.
Just taking it straight up the butt.
Oh.
Just like they do in Margaritaville.
Margaritaville General Hospital.
Yeah, but this is really funny that this happened.
Yeah.
I just love that cops never get hurt.
They never
Right?
get hurt, and they never tell the truth, which means that they always say, "Oh yeah, it took my entire head off, but I got better."
See, and the worst part about this is that cops are basically people who like would get hit by a Tesla and then that night be cleared by the hospital by just insisting I'm fine, and then find out like 2 days later that they do have like a broken tibia or something, and then they go back in.
Like CTE.
Yeah, or just
a dumb guy.
Yeah, I mean CTE is soft tissue damage, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, well, they didn't feel it because they're too hopped up on roids and like HGH.
Yeah, well, see, most cops have like an extra like quarter to half an inch thicker layer of fluid around their brains because their brains are just smaller.
Yeah.
This is
fact.
Oh
wait, I'd say actually speaking of Simpsons did it. I think that was a Simpsons joke. That's why Homer could take all the punches when he was a boxer.
Simpsons
that crayon in his nose didn't kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, just an entire baton up the nose of one of these cops.
Eerily plausible.
Well, so this is, it's just another great example of Tesla. Like, I don't know how many news articles I have to read that just says Tesla knows better than to advertise a function that calls itself autopilot as any better than standard cruise control. But, like...
Yeah.
Right. Because that's all
like,
it is.
It's like, that should really, like, clue in people to just how, like... gutted our government infrastructure is. Like, even like consumer safety is no longer a thing in capitalism. Like, one of the few like compromises you have to make to maintain it.
Well, like the new, I think is the Tesla Model S. I think that's the latest one, or whatever latest model.
The X, yeah, is what this one was. Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, whatever this latest model is, they don't have a steering wheel. They have a steering yoke.
No.
Like no, yes, like an F1.
Wait, like a like an airplane,
gross.
like an airplane.
Like let me see if I could find
like
a
U shaped, like a joystick or something with a couple buttons on top that make like machine gun noises when you push them because you're fucking 5.
Fine, kind of, but like, but it no. It's like it's like a yoke, like for like a race car, because it's supposed to look like a race car. But the thing is, race car drivers use those on the racetracks, and they train.
Oh, I see it.
Them.
This is what I pictured. It is exactly that. It's a square steering wheel with the top part cut off. So it's like it's just like a U-shaped joystick.
That's so sad. Jesus.
Yeah, and many car reviewers have said that this is incredibly dangerous.
Well, you can't it's meant for cars.
You're saying.
It's meant for cars that are going in one direction with gradual turns in one direction for long periods of time. Like, this is not like you can't hand over hand on this steering wheel like you could on like a bus or a car or something. Like, you just like, if you can't hand over hand this. You have to just literally stick your fist through one of the holes in the steering wheel and just like turn.
Right, there's no way that this should be legal. Like, this is absolutely dangerous.
I'll say, you know what car steering system I've personally always wanted, but should not be legal, is I want like 2 like armrests that you put your arms into and sort of slide forward and backward on the seat next to you. So it's like the pod racer arcade controls.
Yeah, that wouldn't work in a car.
No, it would, because literally the hardest turn you make is one all the way back and one all the way forward. I think it would actually be safer.
Oh, there you go.
I think it'd be safer than the Tesla steering wheel, because both of your hands can be on this wheel with fingers accessible to buttons directly near them for things you need, and you're just pushing them back and like the maximum.
Like your machine guns and like your little your oil slick.
Yeah.
Your caltrops. Yeah, because you're James fucking Bond in this scenario.
Yeah, but like that's the other
your little mushroom to speed up and.
Yeah, no, actually, I do want like
shells.
I do want like a little James Bond license plate where I can just push a button and then like it like fucking spins like roulette wheels or fucking whatever. Fucking what's the machine, the slot machine, like little slot machine wheels, and just gives me a new license plate so I can just like do a crime, pull the slot machine lever, and drive off.
See, I want a instead an Austin Powers one instead of a James Bond one, where it's that, but it just flips to say horny instead of whatever license plate I had. I want people to know I'm horny on the road.
It's a bumper sticker that is affixed next to what clearly is a microphone that says, "If you honk, I am horny," and it's connected to a vibrator.
Yeah. Just straight up your ass.
Holy shit. Now that's an innovation. Elon, if you're listening, we've got a way to get your shitty wife back.
God.
We moved from Texas to the Texas of California, Orange County. And this actually is this is actually Texas themed, this story. Orange County, the county that I'm currently residing in. This is from Voice of OC by written by Noah. Why do I pick the articles with the hardest last name?
Biciata.
Yeah, Biciata. Thanks, Noah Biciata.
Noah Bestiality.
Yeah.
One and only.
Voice of OC is actually a really good paper. So
good.
Like, yeah.
We're sorry, longtime Patreon donor Noah Biciata.
Yeah, sorry. So an oil spill impacting nearly all of Orange County coastline. Cleanup efforts begin as oil washes ashore. Nearly all of Orange County's coastline is at risk after more than 100,000 gallons of crude oil started spilling off the coast.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. So the leak source, according to NOAA, the leak source within the offshore pipeline has not yet been found as of Sunday afternoon, today, as we're recording. Divers are still searching for the source. The oil system was shut down in an effort to try and prevent further leakage. Now, the thing about Orange County is there's actually quite a lot of oil in the area. We actually do have a city called Brea. That Brea means tar in Spanish, and so the whole city is just named after that.
So it's the tar pits.
No, that's La Brea tar pits, and that's in Los Angeles on the west side.
Okay.
And that would just
tar.
That's
just tar.
Yeah, no,
that's even worse.
Right. Well, in that case, that would be the tar pits.
Yeah, the tar pits,
which is different from the town that's just tar.
Which is different than the tartar. It's different than the tartar pits.
Oh and this is
which are delicious.
This is an aside. This is just an aside about Brea, but it was the home of the KKK in Orange County, and is often still considered the home of the KKK in the Orange County. Just a little aside, just to let you all know.
I'm just saying, if you got a tar pit near you and a guy you don't like, I got a solution. They can in 10,000 years, the lizards that run the planet then, because dinosaurs are back or something, we'll dig up the tar pits and just find like perfectly preserved neo-Nazis.
Johnny, oh yeah, I was gonna do like a mob thing, like his name's Johnny Two Toes. He's got 2 toes. But he can be a neo-Nazi and a mafia guy. I mean, there's no.
We have here an example of one of the kinds of divergent human evolutions. This one is called Johnny Two Toes, so named for this variant. It only has 2 toes on its foot.
Mm-hmm. Well, so here's this is sad because there is a lot of wildlife in the Orange County area near the coast. There's actually some wetlands. It's a nature reserve. And I believe that they're the Bolsa Chica wetlands. And there are species there that are endemic. They're not found anywhere else.
Oh boy.
Yep. But the other thing is, though, I should just mention this. So Orange County is sandwiched in between San Diego County and Los Angeles County. No one goes to Orange County for the beaches because they suck here, or they're run by white supremacists. Literally the one beach that people would go to, Huntington Beach, is in the city of Huntington Beach, and it's just full of white supremacists.
Yeah, the only reason anyone knows about Orange County is because of television. I know of the Housewives, and that's it.
Yeah.
Real Housewives even?
Yeah. There was the show The OC, which I think was supposed to be a riff of, the Housewives was supposed to be, in response to that. There was also, lest we forget, No Doubt, Rockabilly Queen, No Doubt.
Of course.
What was
that-
the Hills about OC?
No, that's Beverly.
Okay. Was the Hills Have
This is
Eyes
so-
about
uh-huh.
OC?
No, that is Australia.
Is
That's
it
the
really?
outback.
I didn't know that. Cool.
Yes. Or I should say, Orange County is a fairly flat area.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of a
Okay.
valley. So Huntington Beach Mayor Kim Carr said that she heard estimates ranging from a few weeks to a few months on how long the beaches will be closed. Also, an update of Huntington Beach City Council: Tito Ortiz is no longer a member. He quit because
Oh no!
he just stopped going to meetings because he was like,
I can't believe
handle
woke culture has taken away our Tito Ortiz we so loved.
it. Yeah.
Who is Tito?
Anyway,
who is Tito
so-
Ortiz? Tell me.
He's
A dude
he's
who
an
got
MMA
punched in
guy.
the head a lot for a living and now runs
Yeah.
the government,
Hmm.
or ran the
Yeah, he's
government,
a-
I suppose.
He was an MMA guy. He like had a largely ceremonial spot on Huntington Beach's city council. And
Because who
refused
better
to-
a guy? Who better kind of
Yeah,
guy?
and he refused to go to meetings because they required masks to be. in.
That's so fucking funny.
But Huntington Beach, the beach, I should clarify, has been completely shut down, and the city's beaches south of Huntington Beach Pier are raising concerns about the toxicity created by this spill. So if you're an OC, I know it's 100 degrees, but don't go to the beaches in OC because one, they suck, but two, they suck even more now because of all the
You'll
oil.
be covered in shit or oil or both.
Yeah. A
Yep.
bunch of
These
bunch
city-
of like masked hippies helping with the cleanup, scrubbing just like crude oil off of Tito Ortiz, who went to the beach anyway because you can't take his freedom.
To own the lid.
Yeah.
To on the lips. And I was right. It is the Bolsa Chica wetlands. And they are under threat. They are being watched very closely because we have like some herons there that aren't really found anywhere else.
Well,
Ugh. So, and if you want, there are ways that you can help out if you're in Orange County. I think I'm the only one, but like if you're in the Orange County area, they are looking for people to help with cleaning, like, oil off of sad turtles. So if you can, I guess try and help save the turtles. Very sad.
yeah.
You know what else is sad, though? All of these so-called communists online praising or like trying to claim to be like American communists and like thinking that that's like a good thing.
That's so exhausting. Is this
and-
still happening? Like,
This is still happening, but now it has a new
discourse.
context. The context is, well, we got to talk about it. We're a
I
communist
understand.
podcast. We
I'm
gotta
not.
talk about
I'm not
communist
saying it's not worth
discourse.
talking about. I'm saying, discourse.
Right. Well, amongst a lot of the discourse is, and it's kind of I would say that the largest voice in this discourse, although not the only voice, is Luna Oy talking about land back, which is a mode of decolonization that would give land and sovereignty back to indigenous peoples.
Makes sense.
She wrote a really great essay that I will link to on her husband American Johnson's Medium account. It was a really good essay. It's very long, I will admit. And I think Bo dropped out. That's
no.
fine. Bo will come back. But it was a really great read. And she quotes a lot of Ho Chi Minh, which she would because she is in Vietnam.
That makes sense.
And the thing is, though, what's great is that almost nothing of Ho Chi Minh's like greater bodies of work have been translated into
I would like to
English.
read them.
So, yeah,
That'd be very
'cause
interesting.
Ho Chi Minh's big thing was oh gosh, I'm looking for the exact quote, but that's fine. This, like I said, it's a long article, but Ho Chi Minh focused on like humanity and like being kind to one another. And looking at Marxism through a like very communal sort of lens. And like I said, this is a really great article. It talks about how land back should much like socialism and Marxism, is different for every. It's materially different for every situation, and focusing on things like race and gender and queerness are not distractions from uniting the proletariat, mainly because a lot of us are part of the proletariat, but also because even Marx understood that you could not you couldn't win over the proletariat without by leaving out people. He wrote to Engels that the Irish needed
the most oppressed
needed sovereignty.
Group.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the
back
time,
then, actually, yeah.
At the time when Marx was alive and living in England, yes, they were in England, but he wrote that they would need sovereignty in order to have a real revolution.
Yeah.
In order to finally break free, they would have to be decolonialized.
Mm-hmm. Which, as history would go on to prove, worked out pretty good for Vietnam. I mean, they kind of hit the twofer,
Yeah, they did. So she closed the article with, I thought, a really great quote from Ho Chi Minh. Like a river must have water sources and a tree must have roots, revolutionary people must be truly imbued with revolutionary morals. If they are not, they cannot lead the people. So you need to revolutionize the people by giving them their sovereignty back. She didn't give any example of what land back meant other than, the Vietnamese example, because she said that it's not like communism having to be different in, many different places.
Mm-hmm.
So too will land back. There's no one size fits all. And communists, like these so-called American communists, have said that this is like privatization.
It's an ethno-state is a thing I see thrown around a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. When instead of actually listening to people of color, they ignore them and talk over them, which is like some sort of weird Western
which is what Twitter was designed to do.
Kind of, exactly. But you're not going to win over these. You're not going to win over the the colonized, but without giving them their own revolution.
Mm-hmm.
We colonize people. I say this we as in me because you two are white.
Aggressively so,
but but we are the colonized people. We we are the ones who are oppressed, and I see it very often that other indigenous folks, specifically American indigenous folks, are distrustful of
white
leftists,
especially. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a European philosophy, blah 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 blah, and it's I get that, I understand, but we'll eventually move past that part once we truly see sovereignty and revolution for indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
So give this article a read. There's also links to some really great videos. One of which that I've seen before, Stolen Anarchy, playing Indian and the roots of collectivism, by who was this guy again? Oh, TwinRabbit. There's a great video about how collectivism was kind of inspired by the native people of America.
Mm-hmm.
Give this a read. Give those a watch, and just don't call yourself an American communist.
Yeah, that's super cringe.
I think the one I think one of the most important things that this essay touches on is just when we're talking about a colonized people, we're talking about and you're wondering, what does land back mean? It's well, what are the immediate problems that those colonized people are saying need to be addressed? What are the immediate material conditions that need to be remedied? How can we do it together? And actually just doing that together. It's a simple. It's trying to take the scientific approach of this is what Marxism is supposed to be about. Is looking at what struggles for our material conditions can be fought for and won now, such that it produces the ever evolving continual addressing of those things toward socialism, communism, etc., and making those decisions together, and then fighting for them. So it's literally like when people are like, well, what's land back? Do we just like because I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up, is like, well, if we colonized all of this stuff and we just like pulled out a map and drew a bunch of states and said, we own these now, and now we do, well, how do you do land back? And it's like, well, it's not like, it's like people have been dispossessed, but they're also like living somewhere right now. They're living lives. There are material realities that they're facing, and you can just...
Yeah, they're working at fucking, Howard Johnson's or something, like, fucking making $10 an hour, like, it's a living. Like, this is the best job in town.
Yeah.
Or in worse situations, they're, like, in completely underfunded reservations.
Yeah.
And it's like just trying to figure out how like, just asking... Right, just asking indigenous folks like what do you need individually? What do people around here need collectively? Like, what do we...
vibe check, a material vibe check.
Yeah, just like, and it's like, there's your first step. Like, you have to, center particularly sovereignty and a revolution in these things long term, but at the beginning of it, like, you build those basic solidarity and connections by just figuring out what can be done and what are the ways, because that's the thing, is it's like,
what do people need and how do we meet those needs?
Yeah, it's the same thing you got to do with anyone, which is like, if you want to be on someone's side, you just have to figure out what they need and do it. And it would be ideal for a communist movement to have just teams of people just in your immediate area, just finding out what people need. But then also we need contingents of people who are reaching out to people who are a little bit outside of our area, because like, if I just go meet all my neighbors and spread the good word of communism, fine, but half my neighbors are landlords, so like, like, what is that? Doesn't do me any good. Like, maybe with one of them who's like a thoughtful person and will like sell their other home or something, but like, it doesn't fucking mean anything, I just made an individual a little more moral and nothing changed. It's like,
right.
And
well, I think the important thing to keep in mind in all of this is, and this I think too is a decent kind of dismissal of the kind of class reductionist take of like, oh well, yeah, like, things aren't going to be special along various identity lines, right? Whether that's, ethnic, whether that's, sexual orientation, whatever, they kind of tend to flatten all of that, which I think even if, like, you personally don't find that kind of thing important, which is silly, but hopefully you'll grow on that, historically, that is how people have been materially dispossessed or materially harmed. It's things like one drop rules for, oh, boom, you're a slave now, or like, various fucking tribal dispossessions, like there are, and those identities were created largely by the owning class and by imperialists and by colonial forces to be able to more efficiently dispossess these people of their material circumstances.
Yeah, and
so if nothing else, like, just undo that historical, power relation. Maybe.
Right. It's like, it's people who want, I'm going to say, it's when people, especially who are extremely online, identify the fact that, like, identities such as we have them constructed are really more about class and the dispossession or possession of material goods, and who gets private ownership over what and who can accumulate more effectively.
Right,
like,
right.
And
you're
but then
that Jay-Z and Beyonce aren't black, right?
Yeah, right. Well, and then
that's a take somewhere.
I'm sure. It's the internet is wide and deep, and it's bad. So. Yeah, but like, it's like, they're noticing like, oh, I don't like all this lib identity politics shit, because it seems like it's just about expanding like who's allowed to possess to a slightly greater number, more diverse number of people without really questioning under the underlying system, and that seems bad. But secondarily, they don't then make the next jump to which identity politics of a leftist, communist, or Marxist form is class. Like it's all inflected there, and if you don't explicitly meet the needs of trans people or indigenous people or whatever, like if you don't actually like understand what those needs are from the lens of that identity and the ways it impacts the material experience, I think one of the nice parts I really like about this essay is where Luna always points out they're sort of like the means to get to an end, but the end is then tomorrow's means for whatever next end you're getting to. And the whole point of Marxism is supposed to be, you look at your means, you see what kind of end you can achieve, you achieve that end, and then you use that new end as that's your modern day means to achieve another end. And each of these things pushes you closer and closer ever toward communism, giving the example of how, like, in Vietnam,
it just means and ends all the way down.
Yeah, giving the example of how in Vietnam they still have like landlords and corporations and private ownership, but like corporations aren't allowed to own land, they lease it from the state. And like, if we could do even just that in America, that's fucking revolutionary, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that is a thing that pushes us toward where we want to be going, for sure.
Yeah.
And
knowing the United States of America, of course, we would be fucking that up heinously.
Yeah.
Like,
well, sure.
Senator BlackRock says that I can own this entire swath of Kansas. Well, I'll be damned if I don't.
Yeah. Right. But then like that's a kind of like that's a thing you can look at in terms of like land back, which is like, if we have a coalitional movement of many different identities, and like maybe we still wind up with fucking like private ownership of homes and you still have some landlords here and there, but like if if you're an LLC or a corporation of any sort, like you are leasing that from whoever's it is. And land back might just mean that like, your property taxes are going to indigenous people because that's where you live. Like, you live in historically indigenous territory, or whatever. And then like, it's just that part of that goes there. That's just where it goes. And then that betters the conditions for people. And it's, And
they're not relying on a federal system to dole things out to them.
Yeah.
That is essentially trying to pull a more slow genocide by austerity than anything.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to say I necessarily know exactly how it's going to work or what people need, but like, indigenous people have been thinking about this for a long fucking time. As it says in the article, just talk to people about it and they'll tell you. Right. Too. They'll just tell you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, even like literally off the top of my head, some random white person, I'm able to be like, yeah, what if like just some of your property taxes just went to the group whose land this was dispossessed from, so that their position within our society was strengthened? Like, wouldn't that be like just just a useful step? And it's like
yeah.
And like, if I can come up with that, people don't need to be on the internet, like just fucking like white people on the internet don't need to be going around being like, oh, but we have to be proud of America. Like, no, you don't. Like,
this isn't fucking BioShock Infinite, you freak.
Well, like, the weird thing is, like, so they are trying to say is, like, this is how we're going to win over the proletariat, by saying, like, you can be a communist and a proud American. And it's like, you're going to win over
which section of the proletariat?
Because there's, again, swaths of, like, natives, and Puerto Ricans, and Hawaiians, and, like, Filipinos, and Okinawans who are like, no, this sounds like shit. like don't be proud to be like, America stands for a bunch of bullshit. Like,
you don't have to like virtue signal that like America is garbage all of the time. I do think you will say that a lot if you really learn the history of America, but like, you don't have to like worry about whether or not that comes out of your mouth. That's just symbolic shit. Like, there's a thing you can specifically
at that point,
do.
it's just like, oh yeah, no, I agree with you about America sucking major ass.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's just things you can do.
You don't have to be, you don't have to like fucking be like, oh, say what you will about George Washington, but at least he made the trains run on time.
Well, and that's and that's the thing that like I think liberal identity politics really tries to do, is it wants you to feel like, it wants to instill that weird Protestant or Protestant/Catholic guilt in you to like feel like, oh, I was born with some sort of sin because I am, of a privileged group in America. And then like, because the privilege discourse has been entirely co-opted by HR at this point to just be like, like,
how many privilege points do you have, and can you cash those in if you've been
Yeah.
If someone was mean in an email.
Yeah, I can't remember where it was. It was probably on 10K posts because I've been listening to a lot of that because it was a new podcast for me. I mentioned it on the Patreon, but someone said something like, yeah, like, you know, kids just kind of, it could have been made a death cult. I don't really fucking know, but it's like, you know, kids in school are being asked to like understand like privilege and opportunity, like the fucking split up of opportunity, quote unquote, within society, and like, you know, here's a whole bunch of like identity categories that give you an advantage over other people who don't possess these. So it's like, you know, white or male or right, but then it's like okay, there's some use to like, you know, helping kids understand the bad world we live in. I don't think this is the way, but I'm not like inherently upset by it, even though I think it might not be the best way to do it. But then there's also other things. They're making fun of like you know, another sign that says like a household that has two parents, implying that like they have more advantages than single parent households. And like on one hand, yes, absolutely, that is true in a material sense. But then like, but it's not like, oh, don't you see how like this materially changes the dynamic? It's just like, you should, like, you have it better than other people if you have two parents. And I'm just sitting here like, no, I had two parents for like a half of my childhood, and then they got divorced, and the first half was not great. And the second half, due to the divorce and the incentivization of lawyers to keep divorce forever ongoing, because that's the way they make money and it's adversarial, so at any point, either of you can drag each other back into court unless you say you can't do that explicitly, which only really good lawyers are willing to do because they don't make money if they write that clause into the contract. Then,
what a
like,
racket.
Right, and then the second half of my childhood is like just all about like money and like being angry at one another and going to court, and like it sucked. Like it wasn't good. And you don't get to tell me that like one of those was better than the other. Like the real advantage that I had was like a home that was large, that was almost paid off, and you know, my dad getting another home that he could pay off, and like it was the fact that my dad made a fair bit of money and that my mom had like some resources that were going to be paid off within my childhood. Like that, those are the things that gave me advantages, like a material specific thing that like didn't mean like, that meant that like when I started working at 15, it wasn't because I needed to bring home money to help the family and stuff. It was just like, I could fuck around with that money. Like those are the advantages. But then like liberal identity politics is just like, but don't you see how you have it better than other people?
You had the parents. You had more parents than two, actually. So really, why aren't you a millionaire right now?
Right. I mean, I have.
If you've ever had a step parent, or you know, just like I don't know, your parents are in some sort of poly situation.
Right. I'm in a poly triad. Like I have it so much better than every monogamous person.
Mega privileged.
Yeah. Like, right.
Fuck you.
Right. And it's like it's not like, because it's not a good. It's not a good that's a good stand-in if you live in an extremely economically homogenous school, which is exactly where they'd be teaching it in this manner, probably. So
and exactly where, like, you know, the kind of people, you know, promulgating a lot of this discourse are like basing their entire worldview on.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, no, it's just I keep coming back to this example. It's just Modern Family.
Yeah. Once you get above a certain income bracket, it is just Modern Family.
Yeah.
And every TV show is just about a transgender child and a dad who has cancer. So, there you go.
The Sopranos, yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I really wanted to get at with this essay. It was just like, I like how it's just very thoughtful, and it can just blow through all of the weird guilt brain shit you have in your head about like, if I like go join my you know, the Communist Party near me, and then try to organize a group to like connect with indigenous groups and help like with their struggle, like why would they trust us or respect us? And then every single day you go on Twitter and someone's posting like, you know, like just some white guy is like posting that like indigenous people have no reason to trust you because the history of like, you know, the CPUSA or whatever is such that it has always disrespected X, and you're just like, oh my god, just like no one cares if you're just like,
this will be the same dude who says the first group we gotta liberate in the United States of America, of course, theater kids.
Yeah. The first person whose material conditions that need to be liberated is me. that will allow me to have money to liberate other people. Like I'll be like a Marxist Elon Musk. It'll be fine.
So Elon Musk, of course.
And then I'm going to turn the moon into a reservation for white people and do land back.
Yes, this this lunar colony of tomorrow, New Rhodesia.
God.
I wouldn't put it past him either.
Dan Stoffel, indeed.
Elon's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
So
God.
Gross.
we'll link the essay. It's very good. It's very thoughtful, and it's
Disingenuous landback guy, but for fucking white South Africans. That's got to be a kind of guy. If that isn't a kind of guy, by the end of the year, I'll eat my fucking hat.
wait, disingenuous
That's
landback guy. Wait.
Yeah, disingenuous, like, white South African landback guy.
Oh, that
No,
exists
see,
already.
Yeah,
Those-
no, but that's Peter Coffin's next trick.
Oh,
That's what that is.
they are hurting.
The PDG Twitter account follows them, and every time I open the PDG Twitter account, they're saying something. I fucking loathe it, and I'm like, I'm gonna unfollow you.
Love that.
And I'm
I
like,
gotta follow them.
no, I need to. Like, there's no point in the fucking pod account following them. But just every day, it's cringe, and it's just like
No, we
just
gotta
like two-
sop up some spare clout, hopefully.
I've
No,
already
you know
lost
what?
it. Like they look for one episode, and it's right here. How much they piss me off.
There you go. Peter Coffin, you fucking suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You canceled.
We'll
Just imagine I'm doing
You're
like
canceled.
my gay little finger guns
Well-
while I'm doing
well-
it. You
well-
canceled.
It's because they follow us. Ew.
Oh, we're
unfollowing.
mutuals.
I don't.
Oh,
Peter
no.
Coffin, come on
No.
the show.
yeah.
Not anymore.
You're unfollowing now?
Not anymore. I took care of that.
Oh,
'Cause I
fucking
see-
soft blocking, you
I-
coward.
I see the same thing, and I'm like, I can't handle it.
So
I can't handle this cringe.
we'll follow you. Listen, if you're listening and you follow, we'll follow you back and become American communists if you come on the show, and then promote the shit
Like
out of
just
it.
as friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, just
you
because
better
you
get
don't
the
have a
fuck out of
price
the
doesn't
show.
mean everyone else does. And I'm white. I have
Yeah,
a price
no,
by
no, I
default.
mean, yeah,
Well-
I'm with Charlie here.
Yeah, you know what? You know what it is though. Peter used to like be like on like I think it was America Johnson's like Patriot, like it used to be a donating member. Same thing with like Hakim, who's also a YouTuber.
Hakim, incredibly based. Yeah.
Yes, Hakim is so good. Everyone watch Hakim and Luna Oi. They have a show
That's
together
cool.
now. It's very good.
Yeah,
But,
go figure
you know, all of a
that
sudden-
communists from places affected directly by the Imperial Core have good takes on that.
Mhm. Yeah, but then as soon as like a lot of criticism of America started happening from these folks, Peter Coffin does not seem to be quite as generous with their money.
Oh.
anymore.
Fucking deranged.
Sad boy loves his freedom.
I even
Even
I
if
even
this
blocked-
country wasn't fucking horribly genocidal on a historic scale, what are you patriotic about? Fucking Waffle House? You could have a
Yeah.
communist Waffle House, all right?
yeah,
We
going
should
to
have
one
a
in the
communist
garage.
Waffle House, actually. Yes.
I even blocked Peter on the D&G account just because it was like I don't want it to accidentally
handle
be
the
on
cringe.
my
It's
can't.
really
That's
bad.
why
I
the word
just
Vosh muted.
I just went to the Twitter account. Also, I went to the Twitter account and just be like, I know there's pronouns in bio. What are this person's pronouns? They all Michigander. So I'm assuming it's all are available.
I guess.
I don't
We've,
know,
we've been going
because-
between they and
because
he,
the-
and I'm like, I feel like that's accurate, but I wanted
Well,
to check,
because-
and I don't know.
Yeah, but also the other
I think so.
like a few weeks ago, Peter was going on about how neo pronouns and the idea of being a non-binary is bourgeois. And it's
Really?
like, that's really rich coming from you.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yes.
Most people I know can't afford
It's
a
like-
fucking gender.
That's honestly, yeah.
But it's just Peter is someone who has withstood a lot of just some of the just worst people online because of the whole catfishing thing from a million years ago, and Peter just needs to log off. Just
Yeah,
log
they've come
off
out the
and
other
delete.
side woefully online, like Glenn
Yeah.
Greenwald level online.
Grimes level of online.
God.
Just log off and delete Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go back on.
Yeah.
Your brain is better that way.
Tito
but number
Ortiz
go
got
up
it the
and
old-fashioned way.
yeah,
Manually.
number go up and like is like addicted to it. I bet.
Yeah. Which I mean, hey,
Yeah.
who among us can say otherwise?
Uh,
Yeah. You like it, you fucking piss pig. I do too. Me fucking piss pig.
yeah, but you don't post cringe.
Oh, I post cringe all the time, buddy. I just
Yeah, but, like,
I just don't ever suffer consequences for it because I'm a low clout galoot.
Yeah, but like the cringe that you post is like it's funny and it makes me chortle. But Peter posts like the literal worst.
I'm on Peter's Twitter account. I don't understand what's going on here because like so I followed like a quote tweet thread all the way down, and it starts with Luna Oi posting this essay that we read, which is very very nice.
What a way to tie it back.
Yeah, and then Peter
from bitching about YouTubers like we've been doing.
Yeah. And Peter Coffin. So Luna Oi says the thing from the essay, which is, I've seen a lot of communists point to land back as vague and idealist because they don't say exactly what land back means, how much land do they want, what are their concrete goals, etc. Which is pretty absurd for communists not to get this, but let me explain. Goes on to explain. Peter Coffin quotes this saying, "Land back is privatization of public land. I don't understand what's vague about that. We do not live in communism and neither do indigenous people. This is simply creating a new place for the fundamental contradiction to occur. That you can't see this is questionable." And I'm just confused as to how land back is privatization of public land. Like, are they talking about like...
Well, I mean, in theory, like let's take like a rather, I would say, like not generous take on this, where it's like, okay, yeah, you just hand the deed over to indigenous landlords, essentially, and then don't change anything, right, from how things work right now. Like, yeah, obviously, landlordism sucks. Like, we're not fucking Georgists here or something. But, like, that's still better, I guess, you know? And, like,
but
it's kind of a...
But I'm still confused that...
It's a pretty liberal thing of we just hope that the people running it now are better. But
I'm still confused as to
it very well maybe
how land back.
Like, it's their shit, so they should have it.
But I'm still confused at the statement "land back is privatization of public land." Like, what public land is being privatized here? That's
right.
Yeah, it's not public.
Well,
yeah, that's a great point.
That's what I'm getting at. Is like I don't understand what they're saying. Like it's a.
Well, you know, if Peter read Luna's essay, she pointed out what the difference between private and public land
like,
is in Vietnam, or like in the
right,
Vietnam
like,
model.
and also like is Peter like considering like
No,
like a well, okay, but like is he saying that like reservations are public land because like they're still like expropriable somehow, like right. They're under the purview of the U.S. government because we wrote into our fucking constitution or whatever that indigenous people are wards of the state who must be cared for like children or some shit, and like it's just like how like oh god, this is why the discourse is so exhausting. It's just like
the discourse sucks. The discourse rules.
That doesn't make any sense. It's not privatization of public land. It's just shuffling around of things within the existing system in such a way that it makes it infinitely more possible for it's more equitable. It's infinitely more possible to do revolutionary change now, and it's done in such a way that doesn't create buy-in for the system, because like, you know, I'm sure there would be some indigenous people who are like, yeah, this seems good, this is nice, let's just support this thing we're doing. But there's also going to be tons who are just like, nah, fuck that, we're going to keep doing the revolution until like things are actually equal and we're all fucking living together and addressing the great like destruction of the ecosystem, and it's not happening. Like there's still going to be fucking climate change destroying us if we like shuffle some like land use around and like give rights to people in certain places and like make representation in government that like really makes it impossible for government to operate without, say, indigenous input. Like, you could just do that.
Literally just give RuPaul's fracking ranch to, like, any random indigenous person.
Yeah.
Just picked from an absolute lottery. And things will be better. Not better, I was scrolling through society-wide, but, like, that's better.
Yeah.
You know?
But I was also scrolling through, like, Peter's timeline, which I shouldn't have been
no one
doing.
should be doing this.
Like, my brain is
this is self-harm.
But saying things like, you know, but pointing out that like on certain reservations, tribal groups have started casinos.
Yeah.
And it's like, but did you ever listen to their material need as to why they started casinos? Like, and by the way, having casinos on your land, on your reservation, is highly controversial amongst many natives. Like,
yeah, and
like,
in a lot of cases, it's some real, like, oh yeah, my great-great-grandmother was half Cherokee kind of bullshit. You know, like, you can't just count that as, like, oh yeah, no, materially, all indigenous people are doing fine.
Right, but the thing is, like the fact that there are tribes here in California, there was one, oh god, why can't I remember, the Morongo, I believe it is. I'll double check it and be sure, but they have this is the worst case scenario, and it's true. Like, this is like privatization. Like, they have like a Nestle watering bottle plant, and it brings them like tons and tons of money. Like, yeah, this is the worst case scenario, but it's also not like, it's not like every native person is okay with what they're doing with their land. We're supposed to be seen as, we're supposed to be seen as like protectors of the water and of the land, and like all of a sudden you are exploiting it and exploiting Californians, like even non-natives, who, like, natives and non-natives alike, by taking the water and like selling it back to us when we're in the middle of like another drought. Like, and this is not like, but Peter's saying like this is like all native people, and it's like, no, this isn't. And you just are looking at the worst examples and not understanding that there are plenty of people who don't want these sorts of things. Actually, a majority of people don't want them. But it never bothered to cross Peter's mind, because they don't ever want to talk to native people or something. Like, why don't you just listen to people?
Just fucking listen to people. Christ sakes.
Listen to people and their material needs.
Yeah. Can I
like, why is it so hard?
Yeah. Can I read just a few sentences from the thing to sort of end this segment on that thing you just mentioned?
Yeah, please do.
This is a section titled Land Back in Vietnam, explaining how things went there. Though I can't speak for other indigenous peoples, I can speak from the viewpoint of my own culture and my own nation, which has successfully enacted two important stages of our own private land back project in two ways. First, by wrenching our nation back from French, Japanese, and USA colonizers, and second, by taking it from our internal landed aristocracy. On a personal note, one of my grandfathers was a member of this landed aristocracy who had his land seized from him and distributed to the poor peasants of my home village. My other grandfather was one of these poor peasants who died fighting the USA invaders during the Tet Offensive in 1968, so I have a deep familiarity with the internal contradiction of land relations that existed with my people.
Romeo and Juliet shit.
Yeah, during this period of socialist struggle. Today, everyone in my village is given a piece of land for free from the government at birth. Even though my wealthy aristocratic grandfather had his vast lands seized, he was given back a piece of land commensurate with the rest of the village. When I was born, I was granted a 500 square meter rice farm in my home village for free, which I am entitled to all my life. Period. Done. Like, can you imagine doing that?
And
like, just replacing, just replacing passing shit on to your children with the government grants you a home which will ideally be, your family's longtime home, which can always be, which can be traded or whatever, in the place where you and your family have lived for a long time. And when you're born, you get that, and you're entitled to it all your life. And you can move elsewhere, do other things. You can trade it with people. But when you die, it just goes back into the pool of people who need one somewhere. That's it.
Yeah, because I don't need a fucking rice farm anymore because I'm dead.
Yeah. Exactly. I do not need a home or a rice farm. Bury me in that rice farm. Let me become rice and feed someone.
Right.
Sure.
Like, honestly,
that's probably how rice works. I don't know how rice works.
Well, that's just how that's just how food works.
You gotta feed the rice so the rice can feed you. I see. Mm-hmm. Tell me more of this agriculture.
That sounds like honestly just like a beautiful way to like redistribute land.
Like even under some basic socialism, it sounds like fucking like it makes you want to cry with how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
It does. Like, and her like land owning grandfather still got to have land. Like,
listen, I'm not saying like we shouldn't execute Jeff Bezos maybe in Minecraft, but the ideal situation is just you give him like the equivalent of like a plot of 2 suburban homes that has been converted with like a garden and stuff, and there's a high-speed rail that goes into the into the center, and they can get you to the big urban area if you need, and you're done.
And he's tied to the high-speed rail.
Like,
Hey,
either
listen, in Minecraft, this is
either is how things might
no,
go.
there's no threat here. He just happens to be tied to some railroad tracks,
Yeah, the,
Right.
Nothing wrong with
the
that.
trolley problem. Jeff Bezos is tied to the railroad tracks. There is no switch to
You
change
wanna
the. Yeah. You can you can throw the switch to turn
he's tied to the railroad tracks. Do you want a beer?
But this is, I think this is what Ho Chi Minh meant by like, or this is like an example of what Ho Chi Minh meant by moral communism.
Yeah.
We have a moral obligation to one another as people.
Yeah.
Which that shouldn't be a revolutionary thought, but
It's
under
pretty basic,
capitalism
frankly.
it
Yeah.
is. Like, that's just it. Under capitalism, it is a completely revolutionary thought.
Antithetical to the way the fucking capitalism works. Crazy how that works, huh?
Yeah.
But that was a great way to close off that segment. And let's open it up with a really shitty one.
Yeah.
This is our last
Cool.
story of the night, brought to you by Vox. I found this article because I knew that I had a feeling that Charlie would
Oh
wanna
yeah,
talk about it.
100%.
So do you want to take it
This
away,
is gonna be
Charlie?
great. This is gonna be like a 3.5 hour episode, 2 hour episode. It's fine.
That's fine. People like long
I
episodes.
do like
Weird.
I also do. I listen to long episodes too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you want me to read this? Okay, so
Let's live and learn.
Hey, Knuckles, it's Sonic.
I'm late for school. I have to get to school now. He did not like any class very much that was not about running and going fast, which is what Sonic does best. Hey, Amy, said Sonic, check me out. And Sonic did a dance move.
Wow, cool, let's kiss. Rouge was telling me about the problems with your balls and penis and butthole that everyone found out about in your English class.
I'm gonna take a sip of beer.
This is not an audiobook. God. I am always here for you. The prom is tonight also.
Wow, I forgot. Sonic grabbed Tails' hand and said, let's go, and ran all the way to the prom, which was on an island called Ghost Island. Ha ha ha, Sonic and Tails. Now you are both here and fallen right into my trap. Eggman, why are you here? I kissed Amy, and now you can never date her again because I'm going to do sex to her tonight. This sucks! And curse words, too.
Want to hear more Sonic High School? Check out patreon.com/Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Welcome, dear listener, to Dolphins and Garages, starring Charlie as Draws, the Tinkering Construct,
I have no need of soup. We will be on our way.
Bo as Isham Amerlagon, the Roguish Bugbear,
Show me on this diagram where the fuck I ask.
Dennis as Berry Picker, the Gentle Furbo Barbarian,
I mean, I like to scratch behind my ear every once in a while. It's nice.
and Artemis as the Dungeon Master.
All right, roll intimidation.
Nat 20!
22.
I rolled a 5.
Listen to new episodes on the last day of every month or even earlier at patreon.com/Psychic Dolphin Garage. We'll see you in the garage.